will do 30 shillings from town to here, and you all know that it's not quite far. But he says this morning it was 80 shillings, and therefore the effects have already begun to be felt. Josphat Kamanya, thank you so much for creating time, for finding your way here. I know it's a bit drizzling out there, but it's good that you could be here with us this morning. Yes, so we are saying that fuel prices have shot up, coincidentally at a time where a country is discussing about the lies and controversial conversations around, a cargo that is in the country, according to, Mhesh here, that is in circulation, that is actually what is cushioning us right now. So what is the problem? G2G was sold to us in a very beautiful way, packaged in a very beautiful way. In fact, G2G was coming to cushion us in so many ways. And there was that conviction that this is the way to go. Is it doing so, or it's contrary to what?
Yeah, good morning, Linda, and to our viewers. Apologies for being late.
No, it's okay.
It is raining high prices. It's drizzling high prices. So that's the weather we are dealing with today. And in my opinion, the challenge, as you have rightly put it, is the lies you have been treated to. We were well informed that the G2G was to come and try and cushion us for future spikes of the pricing and ensure we have constant supply of the fuel. Indeed, we have the supply, but now the prices have just shot up, all-time high, I think, in this regime. But when you look at it, this was expected. It's just that right now they have the excuse of Iran, the Straits of Hormuz. There's a conflict. But if you look at the arrangement that has been there, the cabal that my colleague is talking about, they tried to suppress the increase of the price to try and avoid the public uproar. But economically, it has caught up with them. Because honestly speaking, we have not received any new consignment that is supposed to be sold at a high price.
Okay.
Whatever we have in store today
was in the country.
Okay. So it should not be affected immediately and causing such a spike. But as my colleague says, it's a cabal, the regime is trying to exploit Kenyans. Unfortunately, they can play politics with it. They can extort, as they have been doing, Kenyans through high taxation. But the common Kenyan is going to be affected sporadically, especially from today. Because remember, fuel is a major factor of production. You have just highlighted that somebody has had to pay more than double the bus fare they've been paying.
Yeah.
You can expect all Kenyans to be complaining about that today, because all the long distance, short distance operating public service vehicles will have to pass on the cost. Look at now at the production of food. So we can expect a further deepening economic crisis. But in my opinion, this is mismanagement of our country. The oil we have today, the prices may have gone up maybe later in the year if you were to receive new consignments with different pricing. But as of now, there's no excuse. Remember again, all the petrol stations were holding, I think from around 7, 8 last night, they were not selling. They knew, just we have always know there is a price review every 14th of the month. But they're business people, and there's nothing you can do sometimes to force them to sell. So I experienced that last night. I went to a few just to have a litmus test on how it was going to play out because of the information we are receiving. And here we are. So it's going to be a crisis. It is unfortunate that this regime is going to play politics with
But wait a minute, and yes, I'm glad that you bring that up, because that's basically what I wanted to say.
Right.
It's the regime that is in power. You understand that we're almost headed to the 2027 general election.
Correct.
And we know that these are the commodities that are a tool of politics.
Indeed.
You do not want to tell me that this regime is not aware that it needs to play it better so that it can get to entice the masses as opposed to playing it rough. So when you say that this regime is going to play politics with it, are you trying to say that now they're going to come with the language of cushioning and try ways of making sure that the prices go down so that it looks like it's the government that has done that, or what? Because I think it's in the best interest of the regime of the day to make sure that Kenyans are well cushioned, that Kenyans are staying a comfortable life, at least this time round when we are a few months shy to the election.
Actually, we are 68 weeks to be exact, to the 10th of August 2027. So we are okay with the numbers. We are that close. But since when did you see this regime care about Kenyans? Since when did you see this regime make decisions that were of interest to the public policy? It cuts across. Every day.
This regime came on board when
Yes.
the prices of fuel were as high as perhaps they are today, if my memory serves me right.
Almost, yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and of course they tried their level best, and they say there's some things that they have played, gimmicks that politicians play, or the gimmicks that leaders play,
Yeah.
to make sure that you caution your people. And we got to levels where, of course, the prices went down. And you say that this is not a regime that cares for the people?
Yeah, because the G2G was to ensure we don't go back to the era of subsidy.
Okay.
So we are going. I'm keen to see how they're going to cushion Kenyans from the hiked prices as of last night. Number two, my concern is not even the hiking of the prices, because those are some of the dynamics that we don't have control over at some point, which calls to us as African countries to start exploring internal conflict resolution mechanisms in terms of our economy and our trade. We have enough oil in Africa. You know, we have oil in Sudan and Congo. So if we have been very proactive, these are measures that have been working towards ensuring constant and low-cost supply within the continent. We don't want to continue living in a situation whereby just a conflict in the west or the eastern part of the globe affects the continent. You know, just like that.
Right.
We keep saying that when America sneezes, Africa catches a flu. We need to walk away from that. The G2G was part of that. They were going to have economic business relations with other countries to make sure we have constant supply at more favorable prices. But it was exploited.
Okay.
Today we have members from who are supposed to be managing our oil supply, who have been arrested because of some dubious scandal they are in. And then you have a whole CS coming and saying, I did not know, I have no reason to resign. There is no institutional responsibility.
Right.
That is where it begins, you know. Forget even about the commodity, but the management of how the system is supposed to serve Kenyans. And that's why I'm saying that they have no interest in serving the public good. The management is poor.
Okay.
The incompetence we keep talking about is what is affecting us now.
Political implications to this, let's face it.
You know, it's very easy for those who are